Hey everyone, James here again. Over the past week, the world has been obsessed with Tickets to My Downfall, the new album from Machine Gun Kelly. And today, I'm going to tell you 5 things artists everywhere can learn from the strategy behind this release. Now, just to bring everyone up to speed, Tickets to My Downfall is the 5th studio album from Machine Gun Kelly, otherwise known as Colson Baker, an Ohio native turned rapper who blew up on the mainstream at the top of the 2010s with his breakout single Wild Boy, followed by his debut album Lace Up. Now, everyone initially wrote Machine Gun Kelly off as another white rapper covered head to toe in tattoos with a big brash personality that would say things that would make your mother clutch her pearls, and for a little while, that seemed to be everything that he was going to give us. But as the 2010s carried on, he got into acting, he began to diversify his sonic palette, but he never really hit that big mainstream #1, everyone in the world knows who you are spotlight that all big artists are trying to achieve. Well, I mean, all artists are trying to achieve. But over the last year, at a point in his life when Machine Gun Kelly has said that he was very uncertain about his future in music, he decided to do something radically different. Now, the first thing that I want you to know about Tickets to My Downfall is that it is a testament to the power of experimentation. Machine Gun Kelly spent the last decade being pigeonholed as a rapper, and while it was successful, it wasn't as successful as he wanted to be. He reached a glass ceiling, he reached a point where he just couldn't get any bigger. And over time, he slowly started to incorporate other ideas into his music. There were elements of rock on his last record and the one before that. But this album, Tickets to My Downfall, is a complete devotion to a new sound. It is a quintessential pop-punk release front to back, and people really like that. They like seeing it. There was always a chance that he was going to alienate his fans, and there was always a chance that it wasn't going to work. But because he made a legitimately good record in a field that didn't really have any competition at the time, he was able to capitalize and double down. More importantly, people that already liked his music were introduced to a new sound that maybe they hadn't spent a lot of time with in the past. And people that already liked pop-punk music were introduced to an artist that they knew about but hadn't really given a lot of attention to. So there's a possibility here that Machine Gun Kelly could easily double, if not triple, his audience, all because he took a chance on himself and did something wildly original, at least for his music. And the lesson there is that you should take a chance on yourself. Go ahead and try things outside of your comfort zone. If there's a style of music that you think you should do or that you feel called to try that is different from everything you've done before, give it a chance. You don't have to release it if it doesn't work out, but if it's something that you feel passionate about, the chances are your audience will feel the same. So go ahead and take that chance. You never know where it could lead. Because 2 years ago, Machine Gun Kelly wasn't getting the offers to be on different talk shows that he is right now, but because he did something different, people are paying attention, and that's what we all need if we want to succeed in music today, for people to pay attention. But that leads me immediately into my second point, which is to keep it simple. The one big standout thing about Tickets to My Downfall, aside from the fact that it's a pop-punk release and not a rap release, is that it is incredibly simple. Both musically and lyrically, this is by far the simplest release Machine Gun Kelly has ever delivered. And that's a really good thing for times like these because we live in chaos, utter chaos. If you want to understand politics or the economy or climate change, you have to read books, watch documentaries, listen to podcasts, consider differing opinions. It's a lot of work. And when people turn to music and entertainment, they often just want something simple. They want something that they can put on, connect with, and enjoy. And Tickets to My Downfall delivers that. These are short songs about relatable topics that have instrumentation that people recognize and themes that people understand, and they can just vibe with it. It takes one listen to get everything the record has to offer. And for a lot of people right now, that's exactly what they want. Now, that's not saying don't try to deliver something that you believe in or something that is interesting to you. But also don't overthink it. If you have a very simple hook or a really good one-liner that you think would be good in a song, but you're afraid people will think it's cheesy or corny or, I don't know, not deep enough, if you believe in it, go with it. Keep it simple, don't overthink. Third, one more note about the whole lyrics approach and the album production and how this record kind of came together. Keep it real. Keep it very, very real. Now, Machine Gun Kelly has always been somebody that's pulled from his own life in his music. That's been present from Lace Up all the way through this release. But as a rapper, there's always this element of braggadocio. He wants to be macho, he wants to be cool, he wants to be the best ever, he wants to be wild, he wants to be intimidating in some way. But that's not present on Tickets to My Downfall. This is a release about doing drugs, having regrets, falling in love, falling out of love, having friends, and not knowing if you'll ever really feel like an adult. All of us understand all of those topics, and if there's one you don't, trust me, in time you will. This is an album that is about who Colson Baker is. Not Machine Gun Kelly, but the person behind the moniker, the person who has lived through the highs and lows of this career and what he's learned along the way and how he's feeling right now. People connect to that. Because we've all heard pop songs that are elegantly constructed. They have the right tempo, they have the right words, they have the right melody, but it doesn't really hit us on an emotional level. We don't feel a connection to the material. Why Tickets to My Downfall is working so well for people is that they do have that connection. They see something in this music that they see in themselves or feel in themselves, and that makes them want to support it. That makes them feel this passion about the material. And I think that it's a combination of the simplicity that I mentioned earlier and the realness that you find in these songs. I mean, you're not going to hear a lot of records with interludes about doing mushrooms with your friends, but that's here on this album. Or the idea of people telling you to forget about them and you telling them to try to forget about you, because that's a hard thing to do. People always be like, forget me, forget about me, but how can you? And how can you do that for me? That's like a thing everyone in a bad relationship has experienced on the planet, and that's why people are attracted to this release, because it's relatable, because it's real. Now, as we move on to the fourth point, we're going to get away from, the content of the record itself, because all of that is good and there's plenty to learn from that. But this is an album that is succeeding also because of the business approach to the release. Now, Machine Gun Kelly has spent the better part of the year promoting this album, and he's released a couple of singles along the way, and he's become a master of wringing everything out of these singles as possible. He puts out the single first, he puts out a lyric video, he puts out an official music video, he does stripped performances online, he then posts those performances on his YouTube channel. Every song is getting 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of content, and that's not including news articles and interviews done around the release of those songs. And there's something to learn from that, because in today's marketplace, we're told that you need to just be constantly hitting people with new stuff. But that doesn't always mean a new song every time. So something that you should really be studying when you're thinking about how to release your album moving forward is how you can make the most out of every single song and how you can really stretch it out to get the full value. Because in today's cluttered marketplace, not everyone is going to see the song the first week that you share it unless they're already paying attention. It's going to take time for word of mouth to build. It's going to take time to turn heads and get people's attention. So if you put out a song this week, next week do the lyric video, and the week after that maybe the music video, and the week after that a stripped performance, and the week after that share that stripped performance on your YouTube channel, all while trying to get interviews and getting news stories out there, seeking placement on playlists, and every time those things happen, share those as well. That right there would give you 5 or 6 weeks of good quality content, and you could even stretch that out further. Maybe you do one of those things every other week. Put out the song, promote it for 2 weeks, drop the lyric video, promote it for 2 weeks, drop the music video, 2 weeks, and so forth. It's all about figuring out how to stretch your material as far as possible while constantly giving people something new to see, to talk about, and to share with their friends. Because some people are going to find your new song the day you release it and they're going to immediately demand that you put something else out there. But if you want to build your audience, you want to build the community around your music, then you have to accept that all the people that aren't already part of your hemisphere of stuff are going to take time to get into the fold. You've got to give them that opportunity. You can't just hit them with more and more new stuff all the time. People are going to just miss out. They're going to feel like they get left behind. But this Machine Gun Kelly album, the rollout has been so slow and so methodical that by the time it got here, everyone was aware of it, everyone knew it was coming, and most people were really excited to hear what it had to share. Now, the fifth thing that I want to touch on is kind of a dirty trick in the music business, but it's becoming commonplace and you should know about it because I'd love to see more independent artists using it. Now, on September 25th, Machine Gun Kelly released Tickets to My Downfall across all platforms and through retailers. So all of the pre-orders started to get counted towards that first week, as well as all the streaming equivalents to album sales. Now, that was really good for him because he's done a lot of work to make people care about these songs already. But as culture goes, the conversation moves very quickly. So he's already kind of falling out of the spotlight for the album. On Tuesday, just a few days after the album release, Machine Gun Kelly released the deluxe edition of Tickets to My Downfall, which came with a few additional songs and a cover of Paramore's Misery Business. Now, this was a big deal because what's happening is that Machine Gun Kelly is getting himself back into the conversation. He's immediately hitting fans with more material and giving them something new to listen to, which is boosting the overall streams for the album because people are going to return to the record to check out those new songs and then be like, oh yeah, I like that track with Halsey, or I like that opening song title track. They're going to go back and listen to the album one more time or more just because he added a few more tracks to it. And that's going to boost the overall sales for this first week, which will boost the overall sales number. Now, is it a kind of a dirty trick because he could have just released all those songs on September 25th? Of course. But in today's music business, you have to learn how to play with how culture moves, and culture is all about having something new to talk about. So even though he just gave people 15 songs, Machine Gun Kelly and his team understand that the conversation was going to leave them behind if they didn't get something else out into the world, especially in a time where he can't just go on tour and have people talking about the live show. So they immediately hit them with a few more songs that they already had recorded, had probably already considered putting on the album, and just held back to get an extra day of news out of everything. It's a smart move. It's a little bit of a dirty move, but it's a smart move, and you could do it as well. Record 12 tracks for your album, release 10 on release day, and the following week, put out a few more songs. Give people that second punch, that little extra boost of music from you. They're going to be really appreciated to have new material, and you'll get a few more streams, possibly for the full record. Everyone wins. Now, there are more lessons to be learned from the success of Tickets to My Downfall, and maybe we'll cover them in a future video. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below, because Music Biz exists to help you understand and navigate the music business. We post 3 to 5 videos every week, and we'd love to have you be a part of this community. But if you've already done that, then you have my sincerest thanks and appreciation. There are probably other videos being suggested around my face right now, so click on those if you haven't seen them. But if you have, then I'll leave you with this. If you do nothing else with your life, please take care of yourself, because you deserve it.